just one point, of course, and we'll come back to this probably a couple of times during the presentation, is that what we are most proud of at FIBA Europe is that we do everything equally. Whatever program we put forward, competition or other program, it's always identical for the male and the female. What we added in lately in the last couple of years is, without going into details of what is equity and what is equality, it's a little bit of extra push on the female side, but this was mainly to encourage involvement and participation, because we sort of noticed that in some cases, it's more related to people being more shy or not pushing some of their positive projects forward. So hopefully this will help us to move forward. So the way we'll present, if you like, our programs and strategy today is that I'll cover in more generic terms, just touch on a few things that we're currently doing. And then Betty will expand in details some of the selected projects that we would like to give a little bit more attention to. And of course, in her role as Women in Basketball leader or head of, for the next few years, she will just touch on what we intend to do for the future. So I already mentioned the competitions, and of course, we'll talk a lot more about youth today, but youth without having something or somebody to inspire, of course, it's not necessarily the most ambitious and positive case. So in our case, we are very proud at FIBA Europe of what we do for women's basketball competitions. First and most important event that we have, and actually it's taken place also this year, this is the FIBA Women's Eurobasket. It takes place every 2 years. And in some cases, it's organized by one country, and in others, it's organized by multiple hosts. So this year's event will take place in France and Spain, with the final round being in Valencia, Spain. We have participation through qualifications of most European federations. And again, we'll go back to that. We have 15 total. So all of them have right to actually register and take part. And again, something that we are first as far as at world level or globally is that we've taken the approach a few years ago of putting the women's qualifiers mid-season. So during the club season with a few breaks, similar to the men's World Cup qualifiers, but also using the model of football and practically all other team sports who are playing their qualifiers during the winter months. The purpose of that is exactly this, to inspire the next generation, to make the national teams more visible in their countries. Because if they're only play outside of their homeland, all qualifiers and then potentially their final rounds, it's not enough opportunities to actually showcase the best talent of the country and to inspire the new generation. So this has been very, very successful. They usually play in November and February, and they basically, no, this is, Betty, just go back to the seniors. So. And in many cases, this was like a huge step forward. Of course, the hidden part here is that in some cases, some of the top teams may lose to so-called an outsider for whatever reason, but this is even more important in sport to have the element of surprise. So again, please follow in June, end of June is the Eurobasket Women. You'll see really the most important players, the biggest stars that are inspiring the next generation. The next step at national team level is our youth championships. We are the only international federation that is organizing youth national team championships every single year. If you look at the numbers here, they're huge. And this is only the girls' part. So we have 122 teams from 49 countries participating in 3 age groups, under 16, under 18, and under 20. They play last edition of these European Championships, 412 games. So it's anywhere between 400 and 440 games could be played over the summer months. They, as I already mentioned, they split in 3 divisions, A, B, and C. So the A division is the top 16 teams. And of course, every year we have promotion and relegation. Between B and A division, the top 2 teams, top 3 in some years go up and 3 go down. That way we have the opportunity of talented teams to qualify. And then we have Division C, which is again the most developmental level, started with the small states, small countries in Europe, but now we have practically everybody participating there. And again, it's a promotion there where the top team qualifies for Division B every year, or they have the opportunity to go forward. In total, there are 8 annual tournaments. So we are very, very happy. Just one point to mention there is that we actually heavily subsidize those events, and the majority of the reserves of FIBA Europe, basically this is our income from top events like Olympic Games and Eurobasket and other income streams, are invested in youth, in the national team championships, but also in projects, and we'll come back to that later. We basically subsidize every youth national team with a sum, and we also subsidize the tournament organizers. And we are very proud that we have 8 female and 8 male tournaments every summer. So we have 16 different organizers every single year, and all of these games are on YouTube, free of charge and live, which is again fantastic investment from our side, and we feel extremely important. So we are really, really proud with that. So when we moved also the club competitions, the top club event for women, the top league, is the EuroLeague Women. It's excellent standards, and we do believe that this is arguably the best women's league in the world. It's purely because even if you compare with WNBA, if you compare the conditions, for example, the salaries of the players in Europe, they can earn up to 10 times more per season that they, for example, are earning in the States. And also is because it's the best international talent is playing in these clubs. It has long traditions. It has a fantastic following as well, very passionate. And we are working very hard now to take it, if you like, to the next level as far as visibility and also following for international fans that are not necessarily very familiar with the competition. The Euro Cup Women is our second club competition in Europe. And this is for us, the entry phase is also the developmental phase, very popular with a lot of clubs. We do have standards, of course, a lot higher for the EuroLeague Women, but also for the Euro Cup Women. But we really encourage most national federations to help their clubs to enter the international competitions, because as we will reflect with Betty, I already mentioned my experience starting at the age of 16 and playing at that level against the best international players. This is extremely important for development of talent to have this international exposure and also bring these games home to the community. So these are our 2 top competitions, very, very excited about it. In the last few years, you probably noticed, we also introduced the 3x3. It's a different discipline. It's not a different sport. It's all basketball, but it's just a different discipline. And actually for us, this is again extremely exciting because this targets different type of players even. And it offers again fantastic opportunity for our sport to be visible because as you could see here in the pictures, people can play outdoors. They usually play competitions in the city centers. It's very easy to organize. And of course, it's less structured. Not every player likes to be in a set structure with regular sessions, etc., going to facilities and all the rest of it. 3-on-3 offers the opportunity for people to do it in their own time and to compete. But we also organize various tours and national team competitions at the highest level. And of course, this year, we are for the first time at the Olympic Games, which is amazing. And it provides opportunities to federations that cannot necessarily field a very competitive team on five basketball. So to have 12 high-level players, they can actually easily compete at 3x3 and get all the way to the Olympics. Andorra is one example. They were only a few points away of being world champions only a couple of years ago. And just one final touch for this is, of course, we have senior level competitions and we also have youth, under 17 and under 23. And we have continental qualifiers and then leading to the world events. So then we move to some of the programs that we run. And before I pass to Betty, I'll just touch on a few of those. Of course, everything is player-centered, and we do a lot for development of players, as you could see. And being international federation, of course, our role is not to deliver the program, so of course the players provide that, but to provide the opportunity for everybody to link, connect, and participate in those competitions. But we also try to organize a lot of events that support the coaches, organizers, and developers of the game in general. So here are just examples of two events that we organize annually. The Under 14 Get Together is an event that is focused on specialists working with players at the Under 14 age group. Talking about our competitions previously, as you could see, we start at the Under 16 level. So we feel that this already enters the excellence phase, meaning that everything from 16 and up, it's already covered through the competitions. But of course, looking at the Under 15 and Under 14 level and below, we feel that there's specifics that are very important, especially in this age group, as Sergio already touched. Some of the initial dropouts are noticed when kids move to secondary school. So what happens between the ages of 11, 12, and 14? This is why this event is so important to us. And the way we organize this is we go to different countries every year. We would like to see a little bit of their program. So they usually present what they do and how they work, what is their system. And we always have guest lecturers and presenters that work with the delegates. And of course, we have various forums and discussions. And of course, mini basketball, how can I forget? Sergio is very heavily involved in that. We work closely with iCoach Kids. We, of course, have a lot of involvement and try to develop now this movement of mini basketball, which is for the youngest kids. So moving on, Betty, to the next. It just finally, before I pass to Betty, it's just a couple of other things to mention. The FIBA Europe Coaching Certificate, some of you already have probably been involved or know about it. It's a program we started in 2007. It's every federation can nominate one delegate. I would like to highlight here the growth of female coaches participants in the program. In the first edition in 2007, we had only 2 out of 60. And this year we are up to 38% the registrations for this year. So we are really very pleased that this number is growing. It's a very high level course over 3 summers. And basically is focused specifically on the youth development of youth players. So high level experts participate in this program. And the summit, I will not go into too much details. As you can see, it's another age group under 15. Again, we are running this event from 2007, which was the year of women's basketball, and it evolved a lot over the years. But basically, it's an event for female players, female coaches, and female referees, just talking about pathways and specificities about developing female athletes and everything related to women in basketball. So I pass over to Betty to go into more details in some of those programs. Thank you.